Welcome to Food and Philosophy, episode number 19, The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. Today is an emergency dessert episode. I have a sweet tooth, so I got Rice Krispie Treat. Whoever invented Rice Krispie Treats, or this kind of just dessert in general, any kind of cereal bar, DM me. I'll name a sandwich after you. I don't know if you're still alive, if you're still on this planet. If you are, I got you. When I worked at the mall, Victoria's Secret and BB, love Cinnabon as one of the highlights of going to work at a mall during my mall life, my pre-Ike's life. Watch out when these are warm. They could kill you. Your mouth, at least. The best item that Cinnabon makes is the little cinnamon balls. Cinnaballs? I don't know what these are called, but I'm going to eat this one before I start. Otherwise, I'm going to be thinking about it for the whole rest of the show. No, it's calm. And then a lawyer said, "But what of our laws, master?" And he answered, "You delight in laying down laws, yet you delight more in breaking them. Like children playing by the ocean, who build sand towers with constancy and then destroy them with laughter. But while you build your sand towers, the ocean brings more sand to the shore. And when you destroy them, the ocean laughs with you. Verily, the ocean laughs always with the innocent. But what of those whom life is not an ocean, and man-made laws are not sand towers, but to whom life is a rock, and the law a chisel, with which they would carve it in their own likeness? What of the cripple who hates dancers? What of the ox who loves his yoke, and deems the elk and deer of the forest stray and vagrant things? What of the old serpent who cannot shed his skin, and calls all others naked and shameless? And of him who comes early to the wedding feast, and when overfed and tired, goes his way, saying that all feasts are violation, and all feasters lawbreakers? What shall I say of these, save that they too stand in the sunlight, but with their backs to the sun? They see only their shadows, and their shadows are their laws. And what is the sun to them but a caster of shadows? And what is it to acknowledge the laws but to stoop down and trace their shadows upon the earth? But you who walk facing the sun, what images drawn on the earth can hold you? You who travel with the wind, what weather vane shall direct your course? What man's law shall bind you if you break your yoke, but upon no man's prison door? What laws shall you fear if you dance, but stumble against no man's iron chains? And who is he that shall bring you to judgment if you tear off your garment, yet leave it in no man's path? People of Orphalese, you can muffle the drum, and you can loosen the strings of the lyre, but who shall command the skylark not to sing? Speak to us of laws. You delight in laying down laws, yet you delight more in breaking them. Laws are put in place from a space of flawed perceptions. Either that, or they're from a biased perception. Those who are able to control the rules and regulations get to place them. Obviously, they're going to only place ones that they believe to be true. One cannot limit another human being without limiting literally everyone else. You can't say, hey, stop doing fill in the blank. It doesn't matter what it is or how much you shouldn't be doing it, but it limits everybody, and not just for the thing that you placed a limit on. Think about it. If murder was not illegal, how many people do you think you would kill? Likely you would still kill 0 people, right? You're not doing it because it's illegal or there's punishments for it. You're not doing it because you're not the type of person that would murder somebody. And now look at people that do kill people. It's illegal, right? Did it help the person that it was illegal, that they murdered, that it was illegal? No, it didn't help that person. They still did it anyway. And I'm not here advocating saying don't make murder illegal, but this is a clear case where you're not murdering people. I mean, unless you are, which in case it still stands for what I say. You're not murdering anybody, but it's not because it's illegal. You just wouldn't murder people in general. And if you're like, no, Ike, but I have murdered people. All right, fine. You murdered people and it's illegal, so it didn't stop you either. So we are where we are. Every rule limits everyone in any area. And again, I'm not saying murder people. You're not going to murder them anyway, whether I say to do it or whether it's not illegal, right? Because you personally agree with not murdering people. Look at the opposite, something that a lot of people break. Speed rules. People that follow the speed limit would follow the speed limit if it was 55, or they'd follow it if it's 75. And everyone else just speeds no matter what the speed limit is, right? You don't go, well, the limit is, you break that rule, right? Because you don't agree with that rule. So it doesn't matter that there's a speed limit in place. You either follow it or you don't follow it based on your agreement with that practice. So maybe I should do speed limits the next time instead of talking about murder so I don't get canceled. However, there's 2 very clear areas of life that you follow rules or don't follow rules solely based on what you believe to be true, not because there are rules for or against it. One will only limit any other person to the exact same degree that they do not trust themselves in that area or trust others. Whom has the harshest laws? The one that thinks so lowly of themselves that they must cage themselves even outside of a prison. Look at all the places in the world that have the harshest rules. They're attempting to protect themselves from something that you cannot be protected from. Again, somebody's going to rob you or beat you up or murder you, not based on whether or not it was illegal or not. Hell, we even know that capital punishment doesn't stop people from murdering people at an effective rate. And the people that aren't going to beat you up or rob you or murder you, they wouldn't have done that anyway, whether it was illegal or not. So you wanting to limit, or you being in a place where there's lots of limits, is an indication of what's going on the inside for you. And how you view the world and how you view humanity. So whoever has the harshest laws, they think lowly of themselves, that they want to keep themselves in prison, including everyone else, but outside of jail. And then verily they'll go break their own rules because even they know they've been unrealistic. And even they know that they deserve better than what they decreed. So which rules do you delight in breaking? He said you delight in laying down laws, yet you delight more in breaking them. What rules do you delight in breaking? Speeding's maybe one of them. You're like, well, I'm speeding no matter what. Or, what are the other rules? Jaywalking, although some places are not anymore. What rules do you delight in breaking the most? Just track those, write them down. You break those rules, regardless of even if there's rules against them, whether it's an actual law or a rule at your school or your job, you break them because you don't agree with them. When you haven't we bragged? I know I've bragged about breaking rules in the past with people. We delight in breaking rules. When you here the part. Where is it? What shall I say of these save that they stand in the sunlight, but with their backs to the sun? So the thing is when you're standing the backs to the sun. Here, I believe Gibran was using it as a metaphor for facing away from the source of light / life, which is the sun. When we face towards it, it shines on us and our shadow casts differently. when we turn our back to it, it shines our own shadow on ourselves. Symbology and a metaphor for what happens in life. That is light and that is the source of life. And we're like, nope, sorry, I don't want to hear it. And then we cast a shadow from our own perspective of ourselves, literally our own shadow. So when we face away from the sun, which is the true provider of life on this planet and probably wherever else, that in different solar systems, they have their version of the sun. Your internal punishment that happens when you turn your back towards that is that your shadow blocks your own path of where you would like to be. And as you walk, you only walk in your shadow. There's no other choice that you have. But when you move towards the light, so I'm going to turn back towards the sun and move in the direction of light, literally, and move in the direction of life, literally. The light casts shadows on those that come behind you. And instead of being a shadow path for you, you mark the path. You're going towards light and life. You're marking the path that others can follow. Behind you, it also helps black out the sun. If they're blind, like, I don't know if I should move this way, they get to use your shadow to block out the sun for them, to keep them from being blinded of the glare. And as well, it also provides shade for those long journeys, all symbolically. But as they're moving towards that and following you. And if one pays careful attention, it can use it as the path to move forward. It can use it as a shield, and it can use it as taking respite upon the journey of moving towards where it is that they want by seeing someone else that's doing the same thing. The things that are writing your story, is not only your right, but it's also the divine giver of the universe itself. As you're moving through the world, moving through life, it's your right to do these things. No laws or rules are going to change you and stop you from doing anything that you wouldn't normally do. Stray away from everything but that path towards the sun and into the light. This will bring you liberty. This will bring you joy. This will bring you laughter, no matter what. You who travel with the wind, what weather vane shall direct your course? If you're moving with your inspiration and your gratitude and your love, doesn't matter which way the needle is pointing on the compass or the weather vane is turning, you're just going to move with that wind, regardless of where actual real wind may be. And what laws will bind you when you're moving towards what it is that you want? Likely what it is that you want doesn't involve many things, if anything, that's illegal. And that's really illegal, that you wouldn't do anyway. Likely, very likely, I'm not sure who wants to do terrible things as part of their journey, but that number of humans is very, very, very short and rare. What laws shall you fear if you dance? But even though there's a rule in the way, you just dance over it. I spoke the other day, I did a talk with a group of folks about, they asked me what was one word that I would use to describe my journey. I'll get into this story in a different episode, but it was that I didn't let the government tell me that I couldn't do what I wanted to do, because selling sandwiches ain't illegal, but they made almost everything around me selling sandwiches illegal. And I just didn't dance or didn't get caught up by their iron chains. I just decided to dance and not stumble against their chains, even though they had rules that said I couldn't do it. So no matter the life or even anything in your life, in my life, nature and the universe will continue on as it's supposed to be. It's going to happen no matter what rules get placed. You cannot make the bird not sing regardless of the rules, right? The bird's not going to stop singing just because we outlaw music, because it's just the way the world is. Humans are the only creatures on the planet that we know of that place restrictions on what is normal and natural. Look at all the crimes. If you were a victim of one, last episode I told you guys, I did have my home broken into. Did it help me that it was illegal that the person broke into my home and took all my things? It didn't help me. What good did it do to me that what they did to me was illegal? It didn't do me any good. So look at any crimes that you're perceiving yourself to be a victim about. Does it help you that that thing is probably illegal? No. It didn't help you that it was illegal. So it is what it is. Likely he got this book. I don't know if he got canceled. I should probably do some studies on him more deeply. But who is he that shall bring you to judgment if you relieve yourself, you tear off your garment, you relieve yourself of the chains, you relieve yourself of the fake charade clothes, masquerade masks, as long as you don't put it in other people's paths. Who is going to bring you to judgment? Don't put it in people's faces. Just do it. People of Orphalese, you can muffle the drum, and you can loosen the strings of the lyre. But who shall command the skylark not to sing? Now, I realize I skipped my Twitter talk today, so I'm going to do that right now, especially since I got a little bit of time left. So, I saw this thread about people being braggadocious or bragging, and people were getting upset with this person. I guess it kind of links to when somebody called me cocky a while back. Maybe Twitter's like, oh, here's some more bragging and stuff like that. Look, whatever it is that you're really good at, or whatever you feel like you want to be bragging about, if anything, keep doing that. There's not any human being on this planet that doesn't deserve a larger sense of self-concept than they have right now. In fact, I'll say that again, there's no human being on this planet that should not have a larger sense of self-worth. More. If you're like whoever you think is the most confident person on the planet, that person should make their self-worth even greater. You should. There's no reason why you should pretend not to brag because somebody else is going to read it and be offended or see it and get like, why are you bragging? Why are you being cocky? No, you need to love yourself even more. You need to pat yourself, be your biggest fan even more. I don't care how big or how much you love yourself. There's no such thing as too much love. There's no such thing as too much bragging. Do your thing. The only people that are going to be upset about you are going to be people below you. There's not a single person in my life that's been as successful or more successful than me that has been a freaking hater. The only people that have ever been a hater and be like, Ike, you should calm down, or Ike, why do you like somebody just talk shit about me having my face on my shirt today? Hater? Much? In fact, when I run into actual successful people, you know what they tell me? They don't say, oh, you're an asshole for putting your face on. They're like, damn, I wish I thought of to put my face on my own stuff. Or, man, I wish I could do that. Or I could put my face on panties. Or I could name the business after myself. There's not been a single person, I'll say this again, that has been on my level of success or higher that has been a hater. So anybody that you're bragging about and that they feel or bragging and then they want to get in your face about it, wherever your level is, it's only going to be people from the way down. Like, you want to be pulling people up with you. They're pulling you down. It's like crabs in a bucket mentality. So I'll say it more succinctly. Brag more about yourself. Boost yourself up more. Be your number one fan. There shouldn't be a single person on this planet that props you up more than you. Period. Brag, keep bragging, and if they're like, hey, why are you bragging? Do what Eminem would do at the Detroit Lions 49ers game. No, love yourself more. There's not a single human being on this planet that shouldn't be more in love with themselves. I'm all for it. Self-love. Keep on keeping on and keep being you. As always, things don't matter because it's always just a matter of time. Your well-being is your greatest gift to humanity, and there's no exceptions ever to that. Your well-being includes you bragging if that's what you want to do. In fact, you're probably not even bragging. You're just being yourself, and then they're like, stop bragging. So keep doing it, because it's actually the only way that you're contributing to humanity. So keep doing that, and I'll catch you next time. I'm gonna do like 20 desserts next time.